आदाब दोस्तों, मैं सुहेल फारूक हूँ और आप मुझे YouTube पे देख रहे हैं। वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिएगा, घंटी के बटन को दबा लीजिएगा ताकि आने वाली तमाम वीडियोस के बारे में आपको बर वक्त इत्तला मिल सके। आज से हम एक नई सीरीज शुरू कर रहे हैं जिसके बारे में हम काफी देर से बात कर रहे थे और वो है डिसीजन मेकिंग। मैं काफी देर से आपसे बात कर रहा था कि डिसीजन मेकिंग के ऊपर जो है वो वीडियो सीरीज शुरू करेंगे, लेकिन मैं खुद बिजी था इसी एक वर्कशॉप करवाने में और उसी वर्कशॉप के दौरान में एक दो एग्जांपल्स डिफरेंट वीडियोस के अंदर भी आ गई। डिसीजन मेकिंग की जो मेरी हिस्ट्री है वो बड़ी पुरानी है। When I was a medical rep and during a 6-month follow-up training program, I was only 6 months old in that profession. One of my foreign trainers was there and he asked all of us a question like why we were there and what we wanted to get out of that training program, what skill we wanted to improve. And during that training program, I was the only one. People talked about improving their selling skills, their knowledge, their ability to communicate, presentation skills, planning, and all that. But I was the one who actually amazed myself and my trainer both at the same time by telling him that I wanted to improve my decision-making skills and abilities. He was surprised, but he told me that this is amazing perspective to look at your personal and professional life and how good decision making is going to affect me. Unfortunately, I made a lot of bad decisions, a lot of bad choices, despite that I went through a lot of decision making literature, books. I have been mentored through decision making, but I kept making decisions and I kept making bad decisions, but in the process, I learned how to make good decisions. I learned that process matters more than analysis and gut feelings. And I learned that decision making is a practice that we keep doing. We keep doing and we learn how to make better and effective decisions. So most of the decisions that we make them very easily in our life. And I'm not going to discuss about the whys of decision making. I mean, like why decision making is important for us. I'm going to not discuss how decision making is going to affect us. The only thing that I'm going to talk about is hows of decision making. That means that how to make effective decision, what path we need to follow, and what pattern we need to adopt, and what processes we need to practice in order to make good, effective, and better decisions. Most decisions that we make are made, most decisions that we make are based on our opinions, and opinions are made effortlessly. Why? Because all of what we need to make a decision is a piece of information. And based on that piece of information, we analyze things. And after the analysis, we build an opinion and we conclude and we make a decision. So technically speaking, I would say that what we can see actually leads to our analysis. What can see leads to our analysis. What we hear, we see. So we process that in our brain in a different way, like we analyze it and then we build an opinion on top of it and then we conclude and we make a decision. But what about things that we actually cannot see? And then things that we fail to analyze completely, or things about which our opinions are not very accurate, or things about which we cannot conclude absolutely. How to make decisions under such circumstances and in such situations. In other words, we decide according to our spotlight. आपने कभी ड्रामा देखा होगा, ये पंजाबी ड्रामा शो नहीं, जो के ब्रॉडवे थिएटर्स वगैरह में जो बड़े ड्रामा चलते हैं, तो वहां पे there is a spotlight and you see that spotlight on the stage is covering a specific particular area, and characters and all the activity is happening in that area. So what we are looking at is what is happening inside the spotlight, but there are characters and other stuff like furniture, rugs, carpets, paintings, crockery, everything is lying there on that set. But our eyes can only see what is under the spotlight. And what is under the spotlight? Under the spotlight means that we have the most accessible information. That is the only information that we have, number one. And number two is our interpretation of that information. And that's how we build our opinion and we make a decision. But that's not all we need. If we look at our decision-making history, we see that our decision-making history is not very bright. मैंने तो अपनी जिंदगी में बहुत बड़े गलत डिसीजंस किए हैं और मेरा ख्याल है कि शायद आप लोगों ने मुझसे बेहतर ही डिसीजंस किए हों, लेकिन मैं आज यहाँ पे आपको डिसीजन मेकिंग के ऊपर ट्रेनिंग इसलिए दे रहा हूँ कि मैंने ज्यादा गलत डिसीजंस किए हैं आपसे. So in the light of those bad decisions that I made and the bad choices that I made, now I'm in a position to recognize that the process is more important than analysis. When we look back, we see that how we made our decisions, and our decisions were primarily based on two things. Number one is the gut feelings, how we feel inside. And number two is the rigorous analysis. We have the information and we analyze that information. As I said earlier, we build the opinion, we conclude, we make the decision. But gut feeling and rigorous analysis are not going to take us anywhere. Why? Because the only solution to this is process. And the process is more important than analysis. The studies show that process mattered more than the analysis by a factor of 6. That means we need to adopt a certain path, a certain pattern to make decisions, rather than just having emotional gut feelings and following the information which is under the spotlight. So how to create the process, what process to follow, and what are those steps of process? What are the dimensions of the process? This is what we are going to discuss in our videos to come. But we can take a good start here by saying that the process starts with our ability to shift the spotlight. If we have the ability to shift the spotlight from one place to the other, that means we can see the other areas and we can look at more information and we can see more things. And then we'll have a better set of information. But as I said earlier, information, gut feeling, and analysis are not going to take us anywhere. This is the first step, that we should have the ability to move the spotlight around to get better grasp of the situation which we have at hand. But in the end, process matters more than the analysis, than the gut feeling, and everything that we use to make decisions. What process are we going to adopt? How to develop a process? What are the dimensions of the process? And what it takes to make a new process, to create it and follow it. That is what we are going to discuss in our next video. This video was just the introduction and the preamble to the whole program. I hope that we are going to have good fun in the coming days to enjoy more videos on decision making. Thank you very much. Good night.